Hello everyone, I am Tasmin Hossain and I'm currently a PhD student in the Department of Biological and Agricultural Engineering at North Carolina State University. Today I'm going to present our work on cellulosic biorefineries powered by nuclear heat and hydrogen. The work is supervised by my advisor, Dr. Daniela Jones. One of the most promising features of biomass is its versatile resources, such as conventional or food-based resources, corn, sugarcane, and we have advanced resources such as rapeseed oil. Then we have the cellulosic resources, which are perennial grasses, crop residues, logging residues, and short rotation woody crops. Currently, US is the largest producer of corn-based ethanol, but the production is capped at 15 billion gallons according to the Renewable Fuel Standard because it is competing with animal feed and food. But if we look at the report by Billion-Ton Study, it is predicted that we will have around 775 million dry tons of energy crops and agricultural residues in 2000 by 2040. This means biofuel production of 30 billion gallons by 2040. So the cellulosic crops has a lot of potential, but it also comes with its challenges. The first challenge is that for biofuel production, we will need longer hauls. Where agriculture is abundant, population density is low. So we need to ship biomass to the higher population areas or to the demand point. Another problem is biomass has seasonal availability. So we will need long-term storage of biomass, which are degradable materials. On top of that, the establishment of biorefinery facilities or storage facilities is quite expensive. So there is a higher capital cost. Moreover, biomass has certain quality requirements when it reaches the biorefinery gate. So because it is bulky and during the transportation and storage, it loses the dry matter. And for that, it might not meet the quality requirements at the biorefinery gate. The qualities can include moisture, ash, lignin, hydrocarbon. So there is a certain quality that we have to maintain when we transport and storage the biomass. Moreover, we also have to consider the biofuel price. Currently, according to process design and economics of the conversion for lignocellulosic biomass by NREL, the price target is $79.07 per dry ton at the biorefinery gate. This will lead to a $3 per gasoline gallon equivalent. Keeping all those challenges in mind, we have developed our biomass logistics model. So for our biomass logistics model, we have developed a maximum supply model for the cellulosic biorefineries. The detailed findings of this model and the description of the model has already been published in Applied Energy. So I'll first describe some details of this maximum supply model where we have considered cellulosic biorefineries without the nuclear power. And then this model was modified and we developed a minimum cost model which considers the cellulosic biorefineries with nuclear heat and energy. While modeling the supply chain, we have considered the advanced feedstock supply system, where biomass will first go from fields to depots or pre-processing centers. At the depots, bales will be converted into pellets which are more transportable or flowable. These pellets will be shipped to then further biorefinery locations. Depending on the capacity of depots, it can be co-located with a biorefinery or it can be located on further locations. We have considered biorefinery capacities of 725,000 tons per year and depot capacities can vary between 25 to 725,000 tons per year. We have done optimization modeling with a mixed integer linear programming model. And we have considered only truck transportation for this analysis. And the objective is to maximize the accessible biomass to the biorefinery at the targeted price, which is $79.07 per dry ton, and with also the required qualities of biomass for the biorefinery. So the input or the supply curve was used from the BT16 report, which was done by Oak Ridge and Department of Energy. So we have considered price of $30, $40, and $50 per ton in our analysis, and we have considered corn stover and switchgrass as the feedstocks. Using the supply curve, we also have our candidate depot and biorefinery locations. We also have the cost parameters, which are the logistics costs, such as storage, transportation, handling and queuing, or pre-processing, the depot building cost. We have gained those costs from INL's feedstock technology report, and we also have our quality requirements from NREL's process development report. Using all the inputs, we have developed our maximum supply model, and we got the optimum solution. So our solution gave us the location of biorefineries and depots, the amount shipped from field to depot, and from depot to biorefinery. We also have the detailed logistics cost from our results. So if we look at the results, we have analyzed 2022, 2030, and 2040. We were able to collect 42.8 million, 92.1 million, and 168 million dry tons in these 3 years. According to RFS2, the required biofuel gallons is 36 billion gallons renewable fuel by 2022, in which 15 billion gallons are from corn-based ethanol, and the remaining has to be from advanced or cellulosic resources. From the cellulosic resources, they require 16 billion gallons. This is equivalent to 357 million dry tons. So if we look at how much we were able to collect within the price target of $79.07, even at 2040, when the supply was maximum, we were able to collect 48% of the biofuel target, which is quite low compared to the supply that we had. This means that either we need bigger biorefineries or we need other transportation modes. Even if we look at the ratio of available and what was collected by the model, we can see that we were only able to access around 50% of what was available in those years' supply curve. So we have to consider bigger biorefineries, other transportation modes, and also different pre-processing methods, maybe if we want to increase the biomass accessibility and the biofuel production. This brings us to the concept of nuclear-powered biorefineries. The idea of nuclear-powered biorefineries is originally generated by Dr. Charles Forsberg from MIT and Dr. Bruce Dale from Michigan State University. Nuclear-powered biorefineries are considered very large-scale biorefineries, which will have 250,000 dry tons per day of supply, and they consider biomass as a carbon source mainly, not as an energy source. And because we will have very longer hauls or very large shipment to those bigger biorefineries, we will definitely need depots for pre-processing operations. The supply chain will be same as before, from farm to depot to biorefinery, but now the biorefineries will all be co-located with nuclear plants and their capacity will be very high. The details of the theory behind the nuclear-powered biorefineries has been published in the Applied Energy in our paper. In traditional biorefineries, carbon is used to make hydrocarbon fuels, and it is also used for oxidation, which provides energy for the process. But in nuclear biorefineries, nuclear heat and hydrogen will produce the energy for the process, and biomass will be solely a carbon source. This will increase the hydrocarbon fuel per unit feedstock, almost doubles the hydrocarbon fuel per unit feedstock. And another feature of this nuclear biorefinery process is that this will enable us to use low energy value but high carbon content biomass. We are considering Fischer-Tropsch process to convert biomass into hydrocarbon fuels. The hydrogen requirements will be massive, around 100 million tons per year for the US, and nuclear reactors might be the ideal solution for this massive amount of hydrogen. There are some plants that exist with such large-scale capacities. For example, the Archer Daniels plant of corn wet mill in Decatur, Illinois, with 15,000 tons per day capacity. And we have the Shell natural gas to liquids Fischer-Tropsch plant in Qatar with 260,000 barrel per day capacity. So we will need similar kind of biorefinery plants for our nuclear powered systems. We have 3 depot options to consolidate biomass into dense, storable, and shippable feedstock to the biorefinery. We have one depot option for pelletization, for anaerobic digestion, and also for pyrolysis. We only need the carbon in the biomass, but there are other nutrients in the biomass that we can recycle and send those to the soil or agricultural lands as fertilizers. So for our analysis, we will consider the pelletization only, which is the first cheaper option. We'll ship those pelletized solids to the biorefineries. We'll only consider the cellulosic resources, which will be pelletized and shipped to the large-scale biorefinery. So for our minimum cost model, everything will be same, that feedstock supply system, except now the biorefineries will be powered by nuclear reactor, and the capacity will be very large, 250,000 barrels per day, which is equivalent to 82 million tons per year. So because we need very much supply for this large capacity, we are not only considering corn stover and switchgrass, we are also considering miscanthus and woody biomass for this analysis. The objective will be to minimize the price of delivering biomass at the gate of nuclear powered biorefineries with the specified biomass characteristics. For this analysis, we are considering transportation by truck only. We will consider the biomass supply curve from BT16 report. We will do year 2030 and 2040 using woody, miscanthus, switchgrass, and corn stover. Of course, the supply of 2040 is much higher than 2030. We have minimized the cost for different scenarios, starting from year 2030 for one biorefinery up to 5 biorefinery, and same in year 2040. If we look at the location of those large-scale biorefineries, we'll see that they're mostly situated in the Midwest, which makes sense because at that location has the highest amount of biomass supply. Although there is one location in 2030 which seems kind of in the East Coast, but that one has a very high price. We can see how from 4 biorefinery adding another one jumped around $13 per ton. But in 2040, as the supply was higher, we can see that the increase was not too high, but within $10, we can get from 82 to 410 million tons supply. If we look at the average cost, we will see that for 2030, for 5 biorefineries, the biorefinery at 23025 Phipps location increased the price a lot per ton. And this is basically the one in close to the East Coast, which is in Maine. We can also look at the biorefinery numbers and figure out which will be the potential location for large-scale biorefineries. For example, we found that DeKalb County in Illinois, Henry County in Illinois, and Boone County in Iowa. So if we look at the graph, we can see that how the price started increasing as the number of biorefineries increased in 2030, but it shoots off to a very high number after 4 biorefineries. So 4 biorefineries might be the optimal scenario for 2030. For 2040, there is a 82 million tons increase for a $3 price difference. Although the 5 biorefinery price is higher, but within only $3 per ton, we can gather 82 million tons more. So those are the decisions that will be needed to made by the administrative people. For the future work of our analysis, we have to include rail transportation in our model. Currently, it only handles truck transportation, but for large-scale nuclear biorefineries, we will need a robust rail network which can transport large shipments each day to those biorefineries. So we will incorporate multimodal transportation in our model, where we will use trucks for field to depot, and we will use rail transportation from depot to biorefinery. Also, we need to have an idea of, we will try to estimate what will be the capital cost of such large-scale biorefineries, which will include nuclear reactors. So we have also plans to consider both the conventional and short rotation woody crops in for our woody feedstocks. So including those, we are hoping to have better results or lower cost for the nuclear biorefineries that we got right now. Finally, I would like to end my presentation by acknowledging the grants and the people that have helped us for this whole analysis. And I'd be happy to answer any of your questions. Thank you.